The question of today is, how do you stay on track while eating out at restaurants counting macros? We're all human, right? Maybe you have a hot date tonight, or you're going out with the girls, or even just a work event and you're not quite sure how to stay on track. Well, I'm Lindsey Love Jenks, the founder of Macrostax, and I'm going to give you some tips. So first things first, we need to determine your number one goal. So I went ahead and listed out 4 here. So you're gonna determine which one you fall under. Maybe it's gonna be 2. So if your top goal is number 1, weight loss makes you happy. And what I mean by that is, in order for you to feel like you get the quality of life that you deserve, you feel like you need to lose weight. Number 2, doctor's order. So basically the doctor has said you need to lose weight in order to be healthy. Number 3, performance is number 1. So that's really all you care about. You just want to get better in the gym. Number 4, you're pretty flexible, no real timeline as long as it happens eventually. So go ahead and determine which one of these you are. Maybe you're a couple of them, and then we're gonna give you some tips based on the number that you chose. So if you fall under categories number 1 and number 2, the first way to stay on track is do a quick Google search in your area for any restaurant that has the nutrition facts online that you enjoy. So that way you can pick the place, and then you can also ahead of time go ahead and see which meal is actually going to fit into your macros. So then you can just show up to dinner and not even have to worry. You already know what you're gonna order and you know that it hits your macros. Totally stress-free. If for some reason you can't choose the location because let's say it's a work event, then we're going to advise you to order what we call common foods. So if you choose something that is easy to eyeball and maybe estimate how many macros are in each food item, then it might make it easier for you to track. So things that would fall under this category would be like a lean meat, a vegetable, and something like rice or potato. And then what I always do is ask the waiter or waitress to hold any oil or butter, because that's where they sneak in the extra fat macros. So this is going to be really helpful if you don't want to be that awkward person who is trying to count their macros at a work dinner, and you can just go ahead and choose the common foods. This isn't ideal, but it's way better than the screw it approach. The last tip that we have for you number 1 and number 2ers is to go ahead and bring your food scale with you. So I know that that may not be appropriate in all circumstances, but if it is something that you can do, go ahead and use our tip from earlier and choose common foods, and then go ahead and weigh it, and then you'll know exactly how much you're eating. If you fall under number 3 and number 4, where performance is your number 1 goal, or you're somewhat flexible, you want to see results, but it doesn't have to happen tomorrow, then we want you to follow the moderation is key approach. So you may not need to bring a food scale, or you may not even need to track, but it is important that you make wise choices when you're eating out, because you do all this hard work and then when you go out to dinner, you don't want to completely blow it, right? So in this case, maybe choose some common foods like we said earlier, or just choose something that you know is a wise choice and whatever that means to you. So remember, moderation is key. One last thing, if you do fall under 3 and 4, then you have the option essentially just not to count whatsoever. Okay, this has to be a choice made by you ahead of time though, in order for you to feel good about the decision and have absolutely no guilt. So if you feel like you're in one of these categories 3 and 4, then you may not need to count at that dinner, right? It's a special occasion and you're saying, you know what, I work hard enough and my goals don't need to happen tomorrow, and I am totally okay with just enjoying it without counting or feeling any pressure of that. And that is totally okay, and we want you guys to know that. It just has to be a choice made by you ahead of time, so there's no guilt associated. So essentially what it comes down to is how important these goals are to you, when they need to happen, and then from there you can decide how you're going to track while eating out at restaurants. So don't forget, click here to watch our latest video, click here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to comment below and we will answer every single question that comes through. Thanks for joining.